Okay, so you've got longer hair and you want to look as youthful as possible. I got you covered. In this video, I'm going to share some mistakes, some things that you want to stay away from or you at least want to be aware of. And I've actually made this video before, but I made two massive mistakes in that video. One, the background music was just too loud, which I unfortunately realized after I uploaded it, which was a problem. People did not like that. And two, I mistyped change in one of the graphics, which apparently on YouTube is similar to clubbing baby seals. So in this video, we're gonna fix that. I'm not doing titles, and I brought you somewhere, listen, well, even better, totally silent. There you go. And I'm going to one-up it because I'm gonna be revealing some tips in this video that I didn't reveal in the last one that you're gonna wanna know, especially the last one. So don't miss that. Why don't we dive into the tips? Okay, so let's start with talking about a tip that I didn't share in my last video. And that is all about where you part your hair. But where you part your hair is actually more important than we think, especially when we're talking about longer hair. Even more when we're talking about hair that's beyond the bra strap. When you're talking about hair in those length ranges, we're talking about a scenario where you either may have less layering, maybe no layering, or even if you do have a fair amount of layering, it still may not be able, because of the weight of the hair, to get the shape that we want to get that's going to work with our face shape. This is where the part comes in, because the way we part our hair can help us create a little bit more volume in certain areas and can affect the face shape. I've done a whole video on how to part your hair and why you part it on certain sides and which one's best and all that stuff. It looks like this. After this video, if you want more insight on that, go ahead and check that out. I know right now the center part is a very popular thing. The center part is great if your face is super symmetrical. But if your face is asymmetrical, and especially if this concerns you, then that center part is gonna draw more emphasis to that. If you feel like your face is asymmetrical and there's one side that's bothering you, maybe it's an eyebrow that doesn't raise as much as the other eyebrow, or a side of your face that's a little bit lower, or whatever that may be, having your hair parted on that side is going to draw more emphasis to whatever that is. So if your left eyebrow is too low and you part your hair on your left-hand side, you're gonna draw more emphasis to that. All right, so now I'm gonna get back to enjoying this. Well, you can't really see that much of a view right now because of clouds, but I'm gonna get back to enjoying the view. We'll see you in the next tip. And yeah, by the way, if you're new to me, my name is Justin Hickox. Been doing hair for 26 years, and I like to share hair tips to make your hair life a little bit easier while we're on adventures. Okay, so I say we're gonna talk about layers. Let's talk about layering. So the biggest mistake that I see when it comes to layering in long hair is, first of all, just being concerned to do them, not wanting to do them in the first place for a host of different reasons. And I understand that there are certain scenarios where it may not be beneficial to do layering. Layering allows us to do certain things with the shape that give you the ability to accentuate things about your face shape that you want to accentuate. Now that's important because that's how we lift ourselves up. That's how we give ourselves style. That's how we make ourselves look more alive and vibrant. And so to me, layering is very important. Now I've talked about this in pretty much every video I've ever done that I'm talking about youthfulness, and it absolutely reigns true in this scenario too. The longer your hair gets, the more triangular it's going to look. The bottom's gonna get fuller, the top is gonna look flatter, and therefore it's going to draw the eye down and not lift the eye up. Now, what if you're concerned about doing layers in the back, but you do want to add some layers? Well, this is when I say layering in the front does a really good job of giving you that little bit of balance. It's kind of that middle road. That helps us, one, break up that shape more, but also, more importantly, it gives us more option when you pull your hair back. A lot of times, longer hair is gonna be pulled back in a ponytail, so giving yourself the ability to have some pieces that fall down, maybe you tuck behind the ear. The point is, you then have options. You can go for more of a sleek, polished look, or you can go for more of a fun, whimsical look. And while we're here, since we're talking about layers, let's jump into mistake number 3. And this is having hair that's actually too long. Stop. I already know. People over there, you might be freaking out. You're about to bite my head off for saying the hair can be too long. I get it. I'm not saying that having hair down to your waist is a terrible thing and you need to run and cut your hair off. That's not what I'm saying at all. If having long, one-length hair makes you happy, makes you feel confident, then you should do that. Absolutely. But follow me on this because there is a point here. Layering is dictated by length. If you've got hair down to your waist, for instance, you don't want layers in the back that are above your ears. It's gonna look insane, right? They need to be long enough to balance. And with that said, they're still gonna be, even the shortest layers are still gonna be very long. That means it's going to be heavy hair. So you're going to get a lot of the detriments of having layers with not a lot of the benefits of having those layers. You don't want to find yourself in a position where you decide, okay, I want to go do layering. Now you go do layering, it's not giving you the shape that you wanted. It's still having a lot of the issues. Now you've got to spend more time on styling it, and it's no longer the one length hair that you liked in the first place. Did I navigate that okay? Do you follow me? Okay. Now here's the funnier part of this whole situation. I bragged about how quiet this is going to be, and then I climbed up this mountain, got to this viewpoint, and it's a damn windstorm. Oh my God. I hope you can't hear this wind because I don't want to hear the comments if you can. So I'm going to listen to this, and then I might have to refilm this somewhere else. I hope I don't. All right, on to the next mistake. That got way too windy, so we're moving down trail. Anyway, so the next big mistake deals with hair health, because hair health is a really important thing, especially when we're talking about longer hair, because more often than not, we're not utilizing quite as many pomades and shine-based agents, things to kind of smooth the hair down, because a lot of times those can make the hair heavy. Also, we have to think about the amount of time that you're spending styling your hair. Many times on longer hair, people don't want to spend the time that it takes to style hair that long because it just takes longer to dry, longer to round brush, longer to flat iron, whatever. So again, this is where hair health comes into play, and it becomes a very important part. Now, one thing that we want to pay attention to when we're talking about hair health is just to pay attention to shampoos and conditioners. What shampoo are you using? Is it pH balanced for your hair? Are you using it every single day? Maybe you're using it too often, right? If you're using a stronger shampoo that's made to strip out any buildup out of hair, maybe you feel like your scalp is oily, so you use a shampoo like that every time you shampoo, that can be very damaging to your hair. So you want to make sure you're using the correct shampoo for your hair to keep it in optimum health, and you're shampooing it as often as necessary, but not more often than necessary. We also want to make sure that the conditioner we're using isn't a super deep conditioner purely because we feel like my hair is drier, because especially as we age, our hair texture is going to change, right? And it may seem as though it's drier, and therefore you feel the need to use a deep conditioner every time you condition your hair. That can also be too much for your hair and can end up damaging your hair as well. I like to tell clients to use deep conditioners once a week or so, but not every day. All right, so now let's move into the next tip. Let's talk about color. Now there is so much to unpack about color, but I'm gonna hit on a few key elements. So first of all, there's the idea that you don't want to do color. You don't have to. I'm not a proponent of the idea that people need to be doing color at any given age or any hair length or whatever. But there is something to think about when you're dealing, again, with longer hair, especially if we're doing less layering. We need some sort of movement within the overall shape. One of the easiest, most effective ways to create that movement is through low lights or highlights to give the hair a little bit of texture. Now, the other thing you want to think about when you're doing color, though, is what kind of color you're doing. If you're doing all over color, for instance, maybe you're coloring gray, maybe you just want your hair to be dark and it's typically blonde, whatever it is, that color, because your hair is longer, the hair towards the end has had that color there longer than, say, short hair, where that color gets cut off frequently because the ends get cut off frequently. That color at the ends, if you deposit that over and over and over and over again, it could also get to a place where not only is it damaging that hair multiple times, ending in a result of even more damage, which has a tendency to make the hair look more dry and therefore just aging in general, but it also could be over pigmenting the ends, in which case you run into a scenario where you're getting darker mid-shaft and ends, and that darker hair color or tone may not be as suitable for your skin tone, and therefore you find yourself looking more drawn out, and that can make us appear less youthful. If you're doing a stronger color, maybe you're doing something like highlights or all over bleach even. If you're doing something that's stronger and more aggressive to the damage of your hair, then are you adding heat to that a lot? Are you doing other things on a day-to-day basis with the way you're styling your hair that could also be adding to that damage? These are all things that you want to pay attention to. As we age, our hair texture typically changes. It can have a tendency to look drier, and anything we do to add to that is not going to help the situation. All right, now what I need you to do is go and click on this video right here. Watch that because you're gonna learn some more great stuff. And otherwise, make sure if you got any value from this, you hit that subscribe button. All right, join the family. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. We'll see you in the next video.